So DevOps involves changes in the activities of developers and operations people. Can you talk about these changes and how they can effectively be managed?
Sure. When we look at development and operations, these are two organizations that typically have a little bit of a different mandate and can have diametrically opposing goals. Development's always about working with the business to, encapsulate this new business idea in software and test out that product within the marketplace, whether it's a product or service, or maybe it's a digital experience in today's terms. So development's one of those organizations that's innovating. They're making change all the time. They're moving fast. Versus operations are typically mandated in today's sort of legacy approach to how we innovate. They're tasked with providing a predictable, reliable, and secure service. And you can see how one organization that wants to move fast and the other organization that wants to promote a safe, predictable service, when you have a fragile architecture that I talked about earlier, can have diametrically opposing goals. Dr. Goldratt actually studied this in the lean manufacturing moment and called it the classic or the chronic core conflict, where you have two major groups within a company having diametrically opposing goals and incentives, and that leads to issues in the overall company, meaning its mission and goals in life. And so to combat that, we talked about the fast flow earlier in one of the three core principles of DevOps. What we're seeing is development and operations in these two groups that typically are at odds with one another, and breaking down that artificial barrier and creating smaller teams. I mean, teams typically you can feed with two pizzas, and yes, that is one of the principles that came out of Amazon when they developed the maximum size of a team. They bring development people together with operations people onto one smaller team and take a portion of the architecture, and they will be responsible for that. So bring a developer with someone that maybe understands the infrastructure, the servers, the network, the storage, who may understand security, and we're starting to look at going away from the old industrial age model of an assembly line where you have work centers and each work center has people with very deep expertise but only in that area, to much more of a smaller team who understand the global mandate of the company and have a broader diverse set of skills that understand multiple work centers and can help build and innovate through the entire technology value stream together. And so what we're seeing is development operations together on one team. And so this is a major change to organizations in terms of how they organize themselves. You can start to think of a big organization that traditionally was a big development shop on one side, which handed off a lot of work to the operations side, another big group, and breaking those two big groups up into many smaller network of teams. And each one of those smaller individual teams as a bunch of members who have skills across the entire technology value stream. They may understand a little bit about security, they may understand a little bit about compliance, they may understand a little bit about development and testing, and sometimes, and the people that get it right typically have somebody represented from the business in this smaller team who understand the business hypothesis and can look at how the actual market's interfacing with the products and services coming out of the technology value stream and instantiate change to reflect what the market needs.